Laurence, thanks. Interesting stuff on the panel just there. You said that the industry's narrative is being written by Google and Facebook. Can you explain a little bit more about that and perhaps what its implications are for the industry?
I think our industry's always been best served by a kind of plurality of voices and options, and I just worry that at the moment too much of the debate is about programmatic, digital, social, short-term metrics that may or may not translate into long-term brand success. So I think we're kind of overdue a slight correction towards what was described on the panel earlier as the poets, not the plumbers, to hear brand success being the outcome of more than just clicks, shares and likes.
Behind you it says this great big question, that's why we're here to debate it, but from your perspective, has planning lost its mojo? And if it has, what can it do to get it back?
I'm a planner, so I don't think it has lost its mojo in totality. I do think it has slipped from top table, like advertising generally has. I think that's true in creative agencies and media agencies, and I think we've become a little bit too concerned with tactics rather than strategies. We get caught up in the new thing rather than being the voice of kind of the things that don't change, the things that you don't have conferences about, and the things that genuinely drive brand success in the long term.
So Simon, straight in with the theme of today. Has planning lost its mojo?
I don't think it's lost its mojo, but there are threats around it which I think are fundamentally changing how planning is done. Now, some of those are good effects and some of those are bad effects. On the negative side, actually, I think the over-reliance on data data in the big data sense is a challenge for planning, simply because I believe the pendulum swung too far over to that side, but we need to keep hold of our human insight, our understanding of human nature, our own interpretation of that data, rather than just allowing algorithms and logarithms to provide us with the answers, because they won't.
Has planning lost its mojo? I really hope not, and I think it has been slightly subservient in the way in which agencies are working for the last few years perhaps. Why has that happened? It's probably partly because of the focus on trading, the focus on automation, the focus on digital everything. All of those things I think have contributed to the fact that planning has perhaps taken something of a back seat historically for the last couple of years. I think we're now getting to the point though where all of these other things are starting now to sort of settle down a little bit. So the trading discussion, we all know where it is, we all know there's a great controversy around it, but it's there, and I think clients have recognised it is a problem. That, I think, creates an opportunity for planning to sort of regain its mojo if it ever lost it, I suppose, so that the agencies can go to clients and say, yeah, but we do all these brilliant things, all this great thinking, all these other things that we do that add tremendous value to your business, and therefore, that's really where the focus should be. The rest of it becomes much more automated, much more commoditized, much more about simple execution, which I think the plumbing element of things can manage to a very large extent. I think the thinking part of things, the creative thought, the how do consumers use these different channels, how do people react to certain different types of messaging, all those sorts of things are things that are still very, very much at the forefront of people's minds, and I think that's where agencies will start to differentiate themselves more from each other, and indeed from other businesses that are increasingly trying to kind of steal their lunch, as it were, by excessive uses of automation.
Jacobs, thanks very much.